Welcome, everyone, to the general gaming channel known as M12 Warthog Game.
Hey guys, M12 Warthog Game here. I'm back with another video, and today I am doing another strategy guide for Assassin's Creed 4 Naval Combat. Now, this is a big part of the game. I actually got this a while ago. I stopped playing it because I got into new games, and this is a game I like to play rather in my free time, so I didn't really think about it in terms of recording, because I started playing this before I even actually started making videos on YouTube. Like, when did I get this? At least maybe about a year or two ago. Year and a half, maybe. And, well, the thing with me is that I like the Assassin... that my, favorite game overall is, Skyrim, but my favorite game series has to be, Assassin's Creed, as it's history-related and video game-related. And, well, I'm going to talk about, the naval combat strategies and how this goes out. Now, one of the most important things for this is upgrading your weapons and armor, but the one thing you do need to know is that weapons aren't quite as important as armor. If you can, because one of the main things about your ship, the HMS Jackdaw, is a ship that's very fast. So avoiding stuff is good, but damage output is also a good thing, but not really necessary, as you can avoid most hits, and the ones that you do take, you want to have good hull armor. Attacking is very good with broadside cannons. The more you have, the better your barrage does damage. Note that not all your cannons will hit, but the more cannons per broadside that you have that fire, the more cannonballs are likely to hit it. Chase cannons, which are on the front of the ship and on the back, but not on the broadsides. Actually, you do not have any on the back. That's where you throw your flame barrels out, and then you can shoot those again. You have ram strength. Now, this is one of the main weapons of your ship, is that it can ram and take out people. They had rams on ships before they put cannons on ships. Greek triremes, Roman triremes, and whatnot all had these. It was pretty much the main weapon that the ship itself had. Any other weapons used during the ancient era would usually be whatever a soldier weapon could have. And one of the main things I like to point out is that the Romans made use of a very good strategy, which many pirates learned how to copy, but they didn't necessarily directly copy it, but it's very similar to a tactic that the Romans used, where the Romans took naval warfare, which they sucked at in the First Punic Wars, and turned it into land warfare, and we're going to use something similar to that when we actually get into naval combat. Now, of course, we're also going to use round shot strength. Now, round shot is probably one of the best things to upgrade, as you don't have to buy more ammunition for this. Other ones, I think you had to buy ammunition for this. It's been a while, but some of these you have to buy, a bunch of ammunition for certain ones, or you can pick it off of ships you destroy. Now, ram strength, I don't think I have the money for that. I don't have all upgrades, but I have taken out a few legendary ships, so please note that, max upgrades on everything is not quite required, but round shot is definitely one of the must-haves, as it can as that's your main weapon for this. Chain shot strength, I've seen videos of people misuse this for what's not intended for. It pretty much is really not gonna do good if you directly aim at the broadside or the front of a ship. You want to aim this at the mast of the ship. What it does is, when the chain shot fires, both cannonballs, one goes out, drags the other, and it spreads out, and the chain will hit something, and it will wrap around that, and it pretty much will, the weight will pretty much, as it tightens, will break a wooden mast and bring it down, and pretty much removing the sail speed. And then you'd have to rely on oar speed to row boats to do that. It wasn't very effective in ancient times, as most of the ships relied on both sail and rowing boats, so if the wind wasn't in your favor, then you wouldn't be able to move as fast. But even if the wind was in your favor, you wouldn't be able to move at faster speed if your sails were broken, but at least you still had mobility, as you could row the boat. Your ship does not have that option. It was not really actually built or intended for that. I remember doing this for a project in oceanography about the ship specifically, the HMS Jackdaw. I'll actually leave a link to where if you want to look at some more information about it, or the link that I used to look at that stuff. And then you got motor. This is pretty much like round shot, but it's a giant cannonball that fires a barrage from a long distance. This is like your artillery, but it's on a ship. Now, swivels are pretty much like, they're like a gun, but in cannon form. You load them, you fire them. And the main thing about these is that they are good at more accurate, and rather than firing a barrage. The broadside cannon that you have that fire round shot just fire a barrage and meant to do as much damage as possible, while the swivels guns are designed to accurately aim and do a lot of damage at a specific targeted area. Hitting powder reserves will definitely put a hole in the ship and put a dent in whatever defenses they have on the ship, if they have to worry about their ship being on fire and whatnot. Or you could specifically target something, say like, I don't know, once you disable the ship, pull up beside it, and you want to specifically target like heavy or strong units that are very hard to take down in land combat, will be a good thing. Heavy shot, that is for... Heavy shot is pretty good if you want to do more damage than your round shot. It actually does more if you actually look at it. I can upgrade it to do 80 more if I wanted to, but I don't have the money for it. Fire barrel strength is pretty much just shooting and hoping someone goes there. Dive bell, not really for combat, but it's good if you want to find upgrades or schematics for it. Heavy storage allows you to carry more ammo. That's usually good. This is pretty much more ammo. Now, cruise quarters is definitely a must to upgrade. I can have 500 people on my crew, and that's very important for the Roman tactic of turning naval warfare into land warfare. It's just that the temporary pieces of land that we will be using constantly move through the power of sails. You have cargo, rowboat armor, if you want to deploy a rowboat, harpoon storage if you want to hop on a rowboat and hunt those things, so you can actually make some of your own stuff, I guess, with it, I think. I don't know. Or sell to someone. Now, of course, I think I'm missing one here. Heavy shot. I think there was, maybe it was only in the Assassin's Creed 3, but I definitely know you could, fire, flame shots, which are actually quite good. Now, this is appearance. If you have some DLC, you can get some of this from DLC or buy it if you want. This just changed the appearance of your ship. This is not really required, and to me, has not really affected the capabilities of combat, but I will get to what we need to do next. Is if I pause this, you can see where some enemies are and whatnot, and you can see many things in the area if you want to. Using this is also quite a good idea. I've conquered quite a few forts. As you can see here, legendary ships. I've actually have not taken out that one. That was the first one I ran into, and I literally got pissed because it could dodge like every single motor attack. It knew when I was coming and was able to dodge all of them. It was just so annoying. So, one of the best things to do is know that you are a ship. You command a ship, a single ship, such as I am here. Now, the one thing with this is that means you have to make use of a tactic I've known as Blitzkrieg, which is a foreign word, but it translates to lightning warfare. What that means is you want to go in and get it done quick before more people come, because if you're a single ship as a privateer or a pirate, many enemy ships can easily outnumber you. And the more numbers they have, the more likely it is for them to overpower you at the point of attack. And that is not something you want to do. As you can see, my crew is almost full, or just as full. And I think I'm going to fire at this ship, and what you want to do most of the time is get in the first attack. It usually means that they can't really retaliate back at you. But, it really requires a lot of aiming. But, we did fire at them, and they will come to us. So we need to take this ship out before it calls for any, calls in any reinforcements. Now, of course, you have the option to fire at its weak points. And I'm going to do that. I have heavy shot currently selected. It's been a while since I played, so I can't remember how to change, this. But this motor is also good, but it's definitely not something you want to use in the storm as much, as it's going to be hard to aim, as waves will come up, block your line of sight, and also is a bad thing because your line of sight can also be blocked as well. And yeah, I've had it happen many times. The waves pop up, blocking your direct line of sight. So, okay, little quick cutscene. That there is a ship that's been crippled. Now what we're gonna do is slow down to half speed. There's half speed, full speed, and then travel speed. Now we're gonna pull up alongside the ship. We pretty much got it out in the open. And we're gonna hold B to board. Now, normally what the Romans would do is cripple the ship, or at least get close to it even when it wasn't crippled, and they would attack it by sending land units or legionaries that they had over across the ship and fight their naval men, because they didn't have a good navy during the Punic Wars, but it definitely did give them an advantage because they had navy men who knew how to man a ship versus warriors who knew how to fight in close combat. And as you guys can see, stuff has happened, and you need to be either very good at close combat in order to take the ship, or what you also need to do is either just use everything at range. Just use your guns if you're not good at that. Pull out a rifle, get on the swivel guns, do what you need. But do note that your men, if they're well trained, can be good. Oh my god, I'm lagging, or I'm just very bad at this because it's been a while since I played. But, aside from this, I also want to note that I no longer have my mini-map up, so I cannot see what's going on. So anyone could come up and attack us, it seems like, while we're ambushing the ship. So you might want to be aware of that when you do this. Okay, cutscene happens. You can either repair a ship or invite them onto our side. They did quite a number of damage on our ship, and we had the elite hull. What do we do with the ship? Repair the jackdaw. I'm gonna do that. I don't really care if our wanted level gets raised. I can easily just take care of whatever comes my way. Okay, so we repaired it a little bit. Now, of course, you gotta know smaller ships can take less damage. So if they decide that they want to, if you want to take one out, maybe a barrage from my cannons may not be a good idea if I want to try and capture a schooner. Although I have better units within my fleet, so it really doesn't matter. When the thing glows red, you know you got yourself a successful target. A lock on for the motors. I was able to easily take out the schooner without having to cripple it, and that's what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna they actually have some commodities on there that I'm gonna want. Okay, now we want to go for the big ship. See, the thing is, you want to save the biggest ship for last, is because that is probably one of the best things to do, and you don't have to worry about any of the other ships attacking you, like the smaller ones while you do this. Now I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna raid this one as well. Each one has actually different requirements, so I'm gonna fire in the general direction of whatever it says to destroy. And I usually try and take out as many people as I can when I do this. Now, destroy the ship's powder reserves. Okay, so that's another objective, is that each ship will have different objectives. The bigger the ship, more objectives you have, but usually it starts out with maybe one objective and kill a certain number of crew members. Also, another thing is that your guns take a while to reload. So if you want to attack someone, do it in close combat and only use your guns for when you need to actually take on like a much stronger or difficult unit, such as a ship captain who will block more of your attacks and like block entire combos, and it gets annoying and whatnot. So you will need to be aware of that as well. Also be aware of your health bar, because I'm actually quite low on health. And I might die here, but I'm more focused on what we do in terms of naval combat rather than the actual fighting on the ship, as this is a part. It's pretty much, if you get the upper hand and you charge across the ship, it's really just a matter of who's better at close combat at that point. So it's not really that much of a big deal. But, that's pretty much the gist of, everything you're going to need to know. There is going to be, a few things, though, that I want to talk about. In terms of, upgrading, you can keep track of everything that you have here. It tells you, like, how much % of, weapons and whatnot you have. For me, if you're just starting out with your ship, I recommend going, hull armor, broadside cannons, and do that a few times. Then, maybe getting at least some chase cannons, and then maybe ram strength. After that, as, upgrades. Pretty much get that, and then when you think you got decent amount of cannons, round shot all the way. Just upgrade all round shot as much as you can. Because what I know is that in the game, cannons, the more cannons on your broadside just means the more cannons that are being fired out. More cannonballs are being fired at the enemy ship. So if each of them do, say like you have 23 cannons and each of them do 100 damage, that's 2,300 damage dealt to the ship. Now, say if I have more cannons, that means I'm having more. Say like I have one more cannon, that means I'm doing 2,400 damage. But let's just say I upgrade round shot strength. That means each shot individually does more damage, and sometimes that's more beneficial than having just more cannons, is having the actual cannonballs that fire do more damage. And really, you can do some math to figure out which is going to do more, but also take into consideration that not all the cannons in your barrage are going to hit them unless you know what you're doing with that. We got round shot, we got ram strength, and I think that's pretty much it. Surprisingly, we don't have grape shot in here, or maybe I just haven't been able to use it. It's been a while. I'm gonna go check to see if we can change out our... Okay. I'm trying to think, that tells you what you need to know for, what they have on them. I'm just not really sure at the moment. I'm getting this, I think, mixed up with, Assassin's Creed 3, because I know that had naval combat as well. Okay, so I'm going to bring this to a complete stop. That fires chain shot. You wanna know what? I guess I'm just gonna have to end it here because I'm not really sure what everything does, but I do hope you guys enjoyed watching this video and hope you found it very helpful in terms of the naval combat for Assassin's Creed 4 in the strategy guide. And if you have any more suggestions for different games to try for strategy guide, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm currently doing this on Civilization Revolution, Warlords 2, all the different races. Feel free to suggest one as well. And I'm doing all the Risk Faction maps, so if you want to see me do one that I haven't done yet, fan-suggested ideas will be maps or races for some of the other games that I'm playing will be done first. But until I get any suggestions, I'm just going to do them at random, so that would be highly appreciated if you took the time to leave some of those comments in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys later.